What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. I'm very excited about today's video. I was going to record summary of our introductory course, but today Jungle Scout revealed their yearly Amazon report, and it's very interesting. It's super interesting, and I'm very excited that this video will be dedicated to looking at this report and making notes from the side of Amazon account managers. So who this report might be interested for? For sure, it will be interested for sellers, because when we sell, when we do our work, we don't know how market does in general. We can analyze like competitors, we can analyze some niches or categories, but we don't see the whole picture, and sometimes it's very interesting. So when such reports appear, we definitely need to go through them. I'll add a link to this report in the description to this video, so anybody can take it and look deeper. So let's just go and like figure out main insights. I didn't really prepare for this video. I didn't make like notes or things for myself, so it will be we'll do it together right now. So let's see what it's all about. The description, nothing interesting. So let's see, selling on Amazon 2023. Here we can see huge numbers. We won't look into all of these numbers, just main thing that I can see from the very beginning. Numbers are huge. So it's again say that huge market, lots of buyers, lots of sellers, and for sure demand on our services is here. But we don't even need proofs anymore, because we just went to Upwork and saw how many job posts about it. What other interesting numbers I can see here? Sure, some crazy numbers, just this annual revenue, this 7.4K products purchased every minute. It's just crazy. What's interesting is that they say that 98% of small businesses are profitable. That's a pretty cool amount. However, I think it's some kind of manipulation because it's not super easy to be profitable. So maybe it counts like even a very small profit. But anyway, what's also interesting is that 58% of Amazon sales made by third-party sellers. Why it's important for us? So more than half of this revenue done by third-party sellers. Why it's interesting for us? Because third-party sellers, it's exactly people who might be interested in our services, because first-party sellers is like Amazon and vendors who sell to Amazon, and for sure Amazon will not ask for our services, but third-party sellers will. So again, just main insight from here, demand on our services will be here because market is just huge. Timeline of Amazon, like main things how Amazon develops. I don't think we need to stop here. Seller plans and goals, let's see what that about. Top Amazon seller focus areas in South 23. It's very interesting. So let's just check first one. So trying new marketing tactics. It's very interesting for us because what it says about it says that Amazon becomes more difficult for people to get profits. If 10 years ago you can just come here, not such huge competition, you can just come here, make a good product page, add some advertising, buy like give away products for reviews, and you feel good. Now it's harder and harder to sell because competition increases, lots of difficulties, lots of sellers doing advertising. So new marketing tactics, it's important. And it again says that people will search for specialists who can give better approaches than usual ones. So for example, if we are good in sponsor brand ads, in banners, in video ads, if we know how it can, which benefit seller can have from this, we can offer the services, and it will be much more interesting than just usual PPC advertising. So for example, so we can see that people searching for new marketing tactics, and if we are up to date with updates on Amazon advertising, stuff like that, we are demanded. Explore other e-commerce platforms. It's also interesting. So I told several times that general idea of work with Amazon is the same as work on any other marketplaces, because they all done pretty the same. And maybe even Amazon is like an example for other marketplaces, how they need to build their sales. So if people explore other e-commerce platforms or other marketplaces, it means that we can expand our services to other marketplaces, and we will be demanded too. Okay, I won't go through everything because it will be too long video. So let's move forward. One more interesting thing, that 50% will explore selling new global markets. So it means other Amazon platforms. So people expand from USA to other markets. And again, if you know how to work with USA market, you have knowledge of all other markets. So just languages might be difficulty, but it's actually not really big difficulty. Maybe I'll record a video later telling you how to sell on Spanish, German marketplaces if you don't know language at all. It's not that hard, in fact. E-commerce expansion, alternative e-commerce platform. So we can see that after Amazon, most of people go to eBay, but the share drops compared to the last year. Most of other sales channels increase, especially Walmart, Alibaba. Okay, so we understand. Nothing really. So for us, what can be interesting here for us, we can see for which marketplaces we can expand our knowledges and understand that the demand will be the best. So if we already provide services for Amazon, we can expand to eBay first and to Walmart, for example. Shopify, to me, it's a bit different, but doesn't matter. Okay, so let's move forward. Profile of a seller, demographics. I don't think it's something interesting, really interesting here. Just maybe for information and to understand that most sellers are still from the United States. Don't see really something super interesting for us. Type of sellers in business, yeah, that's interesting, and we already told about. So third-party sellers is 70%. They made 58% of sales, so it means that in general their sales are lower than these 1P sellers and people who sell both types. But 70% of all sellers on Amazon are third-party sellers, people who might be interested in our services. So that's also good and inspirational thing for us. Business model and strategies, that's definitely the topic for some additional lesson. But again, here we can see one interesting thing for us. So you can see the main strategies are private label, if you like have your own brand. Wholesale, like you buy products in bulk from supplier and then sell them on Amazon. And arbitrage, dropshipping. So it's about arbitrage. So we see this last dropshipping and handmade, not such a huge share. But arbitrage is when we find cheaper products in the web and then sell it on Amazon. So for example, we see that on Walmart, we have lower price. On Amazon, we have higher price. We buy from Walmart and sell on Amazon, like this. What's interesting here and what's again pretty like inspirational for us is that most people who need our services are private label sellers, because for arbitrage it's a completely different thing. So they don't need to do advertising in general because they usually purchase super popular products that already been advertised already at top, like I know some very famous brands with not gated listings. So they buy in one place, put on already super popular listing. They are like one of 20 or 30 sellers, but still get some share of sales. And that's how they work. But they are not really interesting for us as for account managers. But private label is definitely for us because it's people who need advertising, who needs content, who needs A+ content, who needs stores and building all of this brand and promoting it, competing with other brands, with best brands like bestsellers, well-known brands. So this is basically who need our services. And again, it's the biggest part of all sellers. So that's also interesting for us. Which fulfillment methods seller prefer, FBA or FBM? Obviously, it's FBA, and maybe I'll do some additional video about advantages, but I think they are super obvious. So you just take your product, send them to Amazon warehouses, and then Amazon takes care of everything. So let's move forward. Key differences. Okay, we'll skip it for now. Global marketplaces. It's pretty interesting data. We can see that top market USA, but year to year it goes down. But other markets mostly increase, and the biggest increase is for Australian market. So what's interesting here, we can see which markets are the best for clients to expand. So for example, if you're a manager and your client asks, hey, we sell in the United States, we want to expand to other countries, which countries you can offer. So we can see that like biggest marketplaces are Canada and United Kingdom, which is actually pretty weird. I think it means in terms of number of sellers, because if we look at number of sales, I'm sure that, for example, Germany will be better than Canada. Why I say so? Because I had lots of clients selling all over the world, and Canadian sales are not that good. But probably why number is here is because it's easy for US sellers to sell on Canada. That's why most of them sell in both countries. But if we look at revenue, I'm sure that Canada will not be the top. I think Germany will be second, and maybe even Japan, which is just 5% of all sellers. Maybe it will be much higher than most of others. Okay, so let's move forward. Trending products and categories. I don't think something interesting here. Maybe it's interesting if you work as a product scouter. You can have some good insights here. You can see which categories are the most popular and least popular. So where you'll find more competition, less competition, and some other insights. I don't really into product scouting, even though I provide lots of services, but I'm not really into it. So this is not something super interesting for me. So let's move forward. Top supplier countries, we can see that China drops, United States, so people find more local suppliers, or maybe it's also connected with online arbitrage because people buy in US and sell in US. Maybe like this, but also not something super interesting for us, like for me, for example. Product volume, pretty interesting data. So we can see that more than half sellers have like not more than 10 products. So mostly people promote just a few products, and only a small share of sellers have lots of products. For example, I know if they count parent to child. Okay, it doesn't matter. So we can see that in general, sellers sell a pretty low amount of products, and only a small percentage sell a wide range of products. I can't come to the idea right now what can be insight from this information. So it's just like kind of interesting thing. So let's move forward. Average Amazon product price, it's interesting thing. It's interesting thing for product scouters, for sellers in general, and even for managers to understand how it works. So we can see that almost 60% of sellers use product with prices between $16 and $50. Why is that? It's because much cheaper products are hard to have a good margin, because commissions and plus if you need to advertise, so advertising plus commissions will eat too big share of these low priced items. And higher priced items, they are harder to sell because the main algorithm of Amazon is more you sell, higher you in search. In this case, we can see that higher priced products will be harder to sell. That's why it's harder to compete and be on the top of the pages. So this is like the golden share, not share, the golden range of prices between $16 and $50. And now we come to super interesting thing. I'm very excited that Jungle Scout shares the data, sales and profitability. So here we see average monthly sales. Pretty cool data, because I can say that I have currently two main clients, two biggest clients, and their sales in this range, which just 7% of sellers has. So it's pretty excited to understand that you work with businesses at the very top in terms of monthly sales. Yeah, that's great. Lifetime sales. I'm not sure which data we can see here, but interesting data, really interesting data, is that people say don't know. Maybe here it's not interesting data. I think it will be later about advertising. But when people don't know how much they sold, like for some period, it means that lots of sellers don't really track their results well. So they just look at daily sales, how it goes in general, if they receive money or if they spend more money than they get, like this. But they are not super careful in terms of numbers. Okay, so let's move forward. And that's super interesting. That's super interesting data. Amazon seller profit margins. So we can see what the profit margins that people can have on Amazon. So Jungle Scout definitely wants you to sell. So if you will sell, you'll probably buy their software. That's why they want to show that 55% of sellers have profit margins about 15%. And like it's good. And what we can see from here, we can see that margins for most of sellers, so you see just 3% have more than 50% margin, and it's just crazy. I have no idea how it can be reached. I think it can be reached only for, maybe I have one client with such margin. I need to double check their cost prices, but this is possible only for like super low competition things which are not expensive to produce, but because of low how to say it, low amount of offers. People can offer them with higher prices when production costs are not really big, because 30%, usually 30% of sale price goes just to commissions. So it means that these people need to spend on advertising a super small amount of their revenue and almost don't have returns. So what we can see that most of the sellers receive margin not more than 25%. So Jungle Scout wants to show you that like a lot of people receive good margins, but I think that people who think about selling on marketplaces, they think that margin should be much higher. But really on Amazon, even to reach like from 21 to 25%, it's pretty challenging. So we can see that even though sales are huge, margins, we're talking about small businesses, it's mostly who will work with it, because enterprise, it's usually big companies with their own staff, so sometimes you can work with them, but mostly you will face small businesses as Amazon consultant. And you can see that here is the margin. So it's also, if some of your clients like pushes to say, hey, why we have so low margin, you probably do something wrong, you can show this data to them and say, that's how it is. So you can see a general situation on market. So that's just how it works. Very interesting data. I'm super excited that Amazon shares it. And here's also pretty interesting data. So 37% of small businesses said that profits increased, but 30 say that profit decreased, and 17 say the profits stay the same. So basically what it means that it's pretty hard to increase your profits on Amazon. In general, like in average, probably profit approximately stay the same. And yeah, here don't know is very interesting, because it means that people just have no idea what are their profits. And that's exactly what I was talking about when we discussed how Amazon look for sellers. So when we checked Seller Central, I told you that Amazon doesn't give you good report where you can see everything. You can see just different small parts. So if you don't use some extra software, if you don't calculate it additionally, you might not know. So 60%, it's 16%, I'm sorry, it's pretty huge amount of sellers. They have no idea what their profit is. And if it's increased or decreased. Okay, lifetime profits, I don't see any good insights here. It just, again, says that, hey guys, even if you like have a pretty small profit right now, lifetime values are pretty good, but I don't see anything interesting here. What it takes to sell on Amazon. Okay, so time sellers spend on their businesses, time to start. I think this data, again, is more for sellers. I can't fast come up with the idea what it can say to me. Money sellers spend to start Amazon business. Also interesting thing, but again, more I think for sellers. I wouldn't stop here. You can always download this presentation. I will add the file below my video, so you can check if you're interested in this. Marketing investments. It's interesting. So how people promote their products. And we can see that the biggest part is PPC ads of inside marketplaces. So PPC ads is the best source, but we see that it's lower again. So it becomes harder and harder to manage PPC. That's why people try to find other variants. And this year it was social media and Google had some external ads, traditional media even. Okay, breakdown by ad type. It's very interesting thing. Here we can see that most people use sponsor product ads. And again, partly it's because sponsor brands and sponsor display is something new, and Amazon videos, it's something new, and not everybody's familiar with that. So here where we can shine bright like diamonds. If we know this well, we can propose this to our customers, and most customers say, wow, I didn't know that such thing exists, or didn't have any success with it. So that's also interesting. Social media spotlight. What's interesting about social media is that it increases, and we need to, even personally, I need to increase my knowledge in social media promotions, maybe even hire a person who can be responsible for it and offer the services to clients. YouTube ads, interesting, very big increase. So that's definitely something sellers and account managers need to be on top of to provide better advices for clients. Advertising spend. Advertising spend. We can see how much sellers usually spend on ads. Not sure it's something super actionable that can lead to some conclusion decisions for us. Here's interesting data that increasing ad cost is concern for 38 of small business sellers. Yeah, it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard thing because ad costs increases and increases. Amazon always increases bids, competition increases, so it's harder to manage pay-per-click. And again, managing pay-per-click is one of the most common challenges. So again, it says that if we are good pay-per-click specialists, we will be super demanded because sellers find it so difficult. And if they are brand owners, in most cases, they don't want to do it themselves. They want to outsource someone for it. Okay, so motivation success factors. I think it's just something for just general. If you're interested in different details, nothing actionable here. Challenges. Based on challenges, again, we can do some conclusions. So number one, top challenge, product research, finding or developing a product. What does it mean? It means that if you orient your services on product scouting, which I am not doing, but you can see you can do it. It's top concern for sellers. They don't know what to sell. So if you're a good product researcher, you will be demanded and you will be able to earn pretty good amount of money. Getting customer reviews, it's not something that we will really discuss because Amazon is now doing everything possible to make sure that all reviews are real, no fake reviews. And again, managing PPC advertising. Again, we can say that PPC specialists are very demanded. Increase market share, it's okay. Managing finances, again, yeah. So if you are a financial specialist, you can figure out Amazon reports, Amazon reporting, and maybe some Amazon tools, and you can offer your services as a finance manager for sellers, and they will be happy to pay you some money for reports, for understanding what their actual profits. Optimizing product listings, yeah. Again, SEO specialists are demanded because it's top 6 concern, top 6 challenge. Finding a supplier, it's again for researchers. Branding the business, brand content, something about that. So if you're a designer, you also demand it because people need to brand and create good brand content, tell brand stories like this. Managing inventory. Again, if you're inventory specialist, if you know how to work with flat files, you can offer services. Protection from hijackers, counterfeiters, and other black hat tactics. It's maybe more for ideas which company you can create, but it's not something on our level. So let's not stop here. Top external concerns. It's also interesting to read to understand what our main difficulties for sellers right now. And if you want to become a seller, you need to make sure that you understand all of this because really cost of goods increases, always increases, and people don't want you to increase your prices. So it's challenge. Competition, which drives prices down. So together, these two parts creates huge problem for sellers because suppliers want more for goods and people want to sell cheaper. So that's why margins on Amazon are not that huge. Okay, so we won't stop here because again, it will be a really long talk. Supply chain issues. What does it mean? Yeah, okay, so it's for, okay, so we won't stop here too. And yeah, so that's the end methodology. Jungle Scout just explains how they did this report. That's it for now. So let's maybe try to summarize somehow. It was pretty long presentation. It was a pretty long video. So let's try to find the most small thing. So first of all, we again understand that Amazon is a huge machine. Lots of sellers, lots of buyers, so lots of consultants might be needed. If you want to, if you already provide services to Amazon, you can also expand to other marketplaces, expand your knowledge, you can expand your team, hiring like eBay specialists, Walmart specialists, and you can grow your business this way. The next thing is, which is important. Again, I won't stop here and conclude again. So lots of third-party sellers, again, lots on account specialists needed. So it's clear. So it's clear, and I think no doubts for everybody who saw this video, who saw my previous videos, no doubts that Amazon consultancy is really demanded right now. That's again about the same. We can see that the biggest market is USA and no comparison, but at the same time, other marketplaces grow. So if you, for example, from France, if you're from Italy, if you're from Spain, Germany, it's really a good idea for you to think being Amazon specialist, because you have advantage, you know languages of these countries. So even though share is small compared to USA, you still will be demanded. What else we can see here? It's definitely sales and profitability. So despite Amazon is huge machine, you don't need to expect huge profits. And if your clients expect huge profits, it's better to tell them from the very beginning that, unfortunately, guys, only really small part of sellers, like less than 19% of, like less than 20% of sellers have margin more than 26%. And more than half sellers have margin less than 20%. So that's just how it works. And some businesses are even unprofitable. What else interesting we saw here to summarize? I think there should be a really interesting thing which we missed. Let me find it. It's something like when your business turns into profits. I think it should be, yeah, it's also very interesting, and I skip this. So you can see time it takes to turn a profit. So only 15% of sellers see the profit fewer than in first 3 months. So most people see the profit after from like 3 months to 1 year. What does it mean? It means that it's not that easy. So if you come to Amazon, it doesn't mean that you'll be profitable at the very beginning. You need to make maybe a lot of mistakes to finally start doing things well. And again, first you need to promote your product hard, and only then you will get return. So if you face a client who says, I want to jump on Amazon and I want to see profits right now, I have such client. Yeah, so it's a good idea to show him these numbers. It's basically not possible because marketplace doesn't work like this. So you need to understand that there's some time needed for you to turn into profit. Because first you advertise a lot, first you invest a lot in your product, and only then you reach some good organic positions, your PPC is set up well, and only after that you can start getting profits. And a very important thing is that looking at top business challenges, we can see that different kind of Amazon specialists are really demanded right now on market. So thank you guys. It was pretty long video, but I'm sure it was very interesting video for everybody who in this topic, who sells on marketplaces, who work as Amazon consultants, Amazon specialist managers. Let me know about your questions, your comments. It would be great to see some feedback about this video in comments. I'll be happy to maybe expand some topics in additional videos. So subscribe, guys, press like buttons, tell your friends, and see you soon. Bye.